Thank me later, yeah, I know what I said. But later doesn't always come, so instead.
Yo, what is up, good people, man? We are back. We are
Live and
once
direct.
again. This is the Thank Me Later podcast, episode number 13.
13.
This is your boy, Nutty.
Slow Jam Philly.
Listen, man, we are back again. Hitting you with this episode, man. Feeling good today, feeling groovy. We got some good topics for y'all today. But before we get to all that, Mr. Philip Thomas, Slow Jam Philly, hit us with.
Hey, shout out to y'all for
take.
listening to us. Anyways, just want to let y'all know. But my hot take is simple. I seen something on Twitter, was it? And it was like, what if we lived in a world where plastic surgery didn't exist? What if plastic surgery was no longer? And I was like, whoa, that would be amazing because people would really have to be themselves and not be able to hide behind plastic surgery or anything else. Ooh. Not saying that plastic surgery is a totally bad thing if you're insecure with a body part or something like that. I get it. But we're in a day and age where we take it too far and we are trying to look like somebody else. Since when is it okay to look like somebody else? I just seen a picture of Kylie Jenner who looked just like Beyonce, even though she can never be Beyonce. But we're trying so hard to look like someone who God didn't create us to look like. If God wanted us to look like that, we would look like that. We're trying to be clones of each other instead of being ourselves. Like, we're really trying to be clones. I just don't get it. So if plastic surgery didn't exist, we would have to be okay with who we are, what we look like. If I have no lips, I have no lips. Okay? if I get a wrinkle on my forehead, I just got a wrinkle on my forehead. Okay? If I got a flat booty, I got a flat booty. Whatever it is. If I got a little pudge, okay, my man better be okay with the pudge or he got to take me out. Like, I just want us to be okay with how we look all the time. Ladies, you're beautiful regardless of what you look. Embrace whatever it is ever deficiencies that you have, embrace them. Okay? Men, we gotta embrace them. Okay? Even though, I mean, men are probably getting plastic surgery now, but it's not as common as women. But embrace how you look. Stop trying to look like other people and be okay with yourself. Be comfortable with how you look and God made you. Okay? And I understand a little thing like, my breasts are too small. They don't fit with my body weight or whatever the case may be. I just want to get bigger. Okay, cool. But when we start taking lips, eyes, taking fat from here, putting it here, taking that just is too far. Like, and it's just I really wish plastic surgery never existed. I really do. Like, I just really do. But yeah, that's all I wanted to hit y'all with.
Just wish it just could be back to good old hard work.
Right. Like
you don't like your butt, get in the gym, do some squats.
Right. Like, or just embrace your natural, like the Nia Longs, like those type of women back in the days. Yeah. You were just, they looked good, and they were natural. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And barely wore makeup in their movies.
Like they were natural. Like, that's beauty right there, ladies. We are so blinded. We think plastic surgery is beauty now. We think having a fake booty is beauty now because we're going to get attention.
Man, I see women. I know this feels hot take, but man, I see women on social media who are like, they are so proud that the men they have helped create them. And when I say create, I literally mean help paid for their butt to get done, paid for their lips to get done, paid for their fucking hairlines to be pulled down, and call themselves their man's Barbie.
Dang. Hey, we're honestly in a very insecure generation. And again, I could go into it, but again, this is not a topic for today, but this will be soon come because I realized how much I had to talk about it. And it is more than just like a hot take. Like, ladies, just be okay. I'm not trying to dog nobody out who's gotten plastic surgery. I'm really not, because I have friends who've gotten plastic surgery. But enough is enough. I just want you to embrace you. Stop trying to look like Beyonce. Stop trying to look like Kylie. Look like who you are, who you were born to be, how God made you.
God bless.
Sheesh.
God bless.
What are we talking about today, man?
That was the hot take there. It show did come in hot, man. But we gonna kick this joint off with a topic that kind of riled me up this week, having conversations with some folks, and we were going back and forth to figure out, is it okay if you're single and you date multiple people? To me, I feel like there's nothing wrong with testing the waters in multiple locations if you're a single person trying to figure out if you want a relationship or not. I'm totally fine with it as long as you're being a responsible adult. If you're dipping in and out with more than one person, protect yourself and all that stuff. But I am totally fine with an individual who has been in relationships and has been hurt or relationships haven't worked out, being selfish enough to see what other options are out there until that said person is happy.
Most definitely. See, and I think every topic I think has context. Like you said, if you're dipping, I don't like if. Of course, when you're dating, you're gonna date multiple people. I mean, sure, if you find that one person and you want to stick to that one person, that's on you. But if you barely know this person you're dating, just expect that there's others there. I mean, if you become the one, I feel like, okay, it's time. I'll eventually cut you off. I'll cut these people off.
Yeah.
You know,
or that
whatever
person
they
tell you that.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell you that you're important. You know, we get to that level. And naturally, when you're dating, you're not, and you are focused, or you starting to like someone, the others are just gonna fall back anyways or fall off.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't even be dating other people shouldn't be an in-depth conversation from the jump. Like, I don't even feel that it should be asked right away, especially if you're getting to know someone. Like, I feel like it doesn't shouldn't be asked. Now, if we start getting intimate, and like you said, dipping and doing all this stuff, I feel like that is, because technically you're still single, you can do whatever you want to,
Yes.
but that's where things get tricky, because if you're intimate with someone and you're intimate with someone else, and someone else, let's say I'm intimate with 3 young ladies or whatever, or vice versa, 3 young men, that's where it gets tricky, because that's where emotions start getting involved. That's where feelings start getting involved. We're going on dates, okay? We're going to dinner. We're going to the movies, whatever. Then we're coming back to my place, your place. We're sharing an intimate moment together. That's where the feeling starts coming. So it wasn't like, oh, we're just meeting up at the house to kick it and do our thing, and then you bouncing whatever. Now it's like, okay, we're getting to know each other. And I'm going out with you in public. First off, we're sitting down, we're getting to know each other. Then we're becoming intimate. Then you're going to doing the same thing with somebody else. That's where it becomes tricky. It happens. It happens. I mean, friends have done it. I mean, it happens. But that's where I think that it becomes tricky, because me, if I'm dating a young lady and she's becoming intimate with someone else, and there's feelings involved, I know that you're just going to be cut. Like, you're going to be cut. Granted, you can do whatever, you can do it. You can do whatever you want to.
But your preference is,
but
like,
you're going to be.
That's how you're rocking.
You're cut.
That's not
now. If you're rocking, like, okay, me and you are dating, you're talking to another dude, you're trying to figure. I don't even want you to tell me, but let's say I figure out, like, one of my friends know you. Oh, I heard she was talking to old boy. Okay, cool. She could talk to old boy, whatever. But when it gets to the level of, okay, intimacy, or you having to choose, or let's say we're going on multiple dates, and you're going, after you go on a date with me, you going on a date with him the next day, and I seen you out, and that's where it becomes. That's where I feel like it becomes tricky, and that's where you're cut off. For me, I mean, like, how I feel, but I mean, everybody's different. But I feel like when intimacy gets involved, that's when it becomes tricky.
What's funny to me is, for me personally, the line isn't crossed when intimacy becomes involved. For me, opening myself up and having
like feeling
conversations is
definitely
far more important to me than me finding out if you're f***ing other people. Like, I could care less if we go on one, let's say we go on 2 dates within a span of 3 weeks, right? And let's say I have a track record of sleeping with a woman typically after or around the 2nd date, right? If we haven't had or established any serious conversations yet that deal with me talking about my past, that deal with me talking about my family, that deal with me talking about anything of any level of seriousness, I'm nowhere near there. I'm not there with you emotionally yet.
Oh, facts.
So I could have sex with you and not have any emotion whatsoever with it, and have you still dating and sleep with other people, and me not be affected emotionally.
Oh,
I will be
most
hurt.
definitely.
I will be hurt if that if I get to that second or third date, and within that time frame we've had deep discussions about my life, about my family, about my past, and have sat on the phone for hours, or have just sat there talking for hours and not even had sex yet, if we go there and me and her don't even have sex yet, and I find out that she is sleeping with somebody,
That's what I mean.
I will be then.
Yeah,
Be
that's
when I'll
exactly.
be hurt.
No, that's exactly what I'm as well.
Because
That's what
where
I mean
the
by.
emotional tie for me comes in. It's
Oh,
like,
facts.
if we share these moments of importance that shape me to where I am now with you, and you're sharing that with me, that's emotional.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better.
That's where the emotions get intertwined. And if after that you can then go be intimate with somebody else, that's where I'm like, yeah, I'm not fucking with you
Yeah,
no more.
yeah. No, you couldn't have said it better, and that's actually what I mean. And the other, I mean, there's nothing to add to that because Danny put it so perfectly. There's nothing to add to that. But what I would ask is, like the other situation that you said, if you're doing your thing, or that, I don't feel that we're really dating at that point. I don't. I feel like you're not dating me. They're just a chick that I'm messing with, or
And you
or
mean like
something.
if you haven't gone
Right,
to
haven't gone to the emotional level.
We're
Yeah.
just chilling.
Yeah, like if I haven't shared things with you, or we haven't talked, like families, share things with you that I just wouldn't share to a normal person, then I don't even feel like we're really dating. We're just out there like, doing our thing. We're just kicking it.
Uh-huh.
And again, there's levels because people, I mean, there's been times where you just kick it with someone, but we're not dating. I just feel like there's levels, like dating.
What's funny, I guarantee you, we've probably had this conversation with female friends of ours. Ladies, this is some insight for you. What we were just talking about, if you are dating a guy and have gone out with him at least 2 to 3 times, and he hasn't attempted to go in that emotional way with you, he's not really interested in you.
Oh, most definitely.
I guarantee you, if between 2 to 3 dates, you guys have not sat and talked about anything relevant in his life or gone deep in any type of conversation, he's not interested in you.
Yeah.
A dude that's interested in you will be, even if he has a past. Like for me, I have a past that haunts me to this day. If I'm willing or eager to go there with you early in our dating, I'm there with you. I'm into
facts.
you already.
Yeah.
If a dude's not willing to go there with you early on, he's legit only just trying to smash.
Yeah, and he, I mean, any respectful dude is gonna want to pull back those layers, not just for themselves, but for you as well. Like,
Yeah.
he wants to get to know you. He's gonna ask you
wants you to
questions.
know him.
Like, yeah, he wants you to know him. He's gonna try to pull back those layers. Whatever you struggle with, whatever, he's gonna be there to try to help you and rock with you and do those type of things. But I just feel, yeah, I mean, I don't feel dating. I don't feel like you're dating if you don't even go out in public with that person. I just don't feel like that's another thing, ladies. If you don't go out in public, or you only go to the movies on a late night, 9, 10 o'clock, y'all going to see a movie, that's not dating.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
and
kicking it.
literally, that's all it is. And that's why we got to make sure that we don't just throw this dating word around, because I've had a lot of female friends, and I try to tell them, I try to not to be so harsh, but I try to tell them the real, like, oh, I'm dating this guy, but we only talk so and so often, or oh, I'm dating this guy, but he's always so busy that we can't never go out. So how are y'all dating? Because y'all talk and he texts you every now and then, or you guys talk on the phone every now and then, but you never spend any time with him? That's not dating.
That's not dating. And dating, man, dating is really a double-edged sword, because at that same time, people that are dating are probably seeing other people. So if you're not the one talking to him every day, he probably has a couple other people he's talking to. But that's where I feel like some women can get scared off, is because if a dude has more than one person that he's either conversating with, talking to, going out with, don't let that necessarily scare you off, because you probably have yet to know what he's about. You haven't had those conversations yet to where you can ask him, how many other people are you dating? Are you emotionally invested in anyone yet? I feel like that's the key question, rather than asking someone, are you sleeping with other people? Don't ask me. That's the one thing I hate. Don't ask me, if I'm sleeping with other people, because one, that's none of your goddamn business. But it is your business if I'm emotionally investing if I'm getting emotionally invested in someone, that's where it can be a question for you to where you don't want your time wasted. Because if I'm emotionally invested elsewhere and I'm honest with you, like, yeah, I'm really feeling someone else,
Facts. Yeah.
that's where you can make a
But
choice whether you can bounce or not.
But I feel like like again, I think it's an unsaid question, but again, it will be asked. But if you're not comfortable asking that question, you kind of already know the answer. Like,
Definitely.
and I feel like that goes with time. Like, if I'm you know when someone's dating other people or you feel like their attention is elsewhere when you're not getting that attention.
Yeah.
Like if you're not getting that attention of us going on dates, multiple dates, or I see you once every 3 weeks or something like that, and I never call you, things like that, but I make sure that you still might be on the team. That's where you know that there's he or she has other options, because time will show all. Like for me and my partner, that was not a question that needed to be said ever, really. I mean, it was asked, but it was asked like, oh, we already knew that. Like, again, comfortable. Like, I already know the answer.
Yeah.
Because she was getting all my time. Like, she was getting there. It started out, we're like, oh, let me see, I'm seeing. But again, I seen something in her where I was like, oh, you're getting all my time. Like, I want to spend time with you. I don't even want to kick it with them no more.
Yeah.
So you're getting my time.
Like,
and so it was like
a point where you just know,
yeah, like,
where this person is. Like, that's a deep chemistry thing.
Yeah, like yeah,
like if you know that person is just at home chilling, waiting on you to call, or they're just they're at home.
You feel it.
You know this.
Yeah,
stuff.
you just know.
You know they're not.
And
you know they're not out in the street.
And always follow your heart, trust your gut. Like if you don't feel like that, then something's up. Yeah,
something's up.
And that goes back into and that goes into specifically like insecurities. Like if you're insecure about something that person's doing, then you probably know that something's up. And that's exactly like going into the next topic of, okay, if we're dating, I'm iffy the whole time we're dating. You finally make me the one. Probably you make me the one because things didn't work out with the other ones. Even going into the relationship, you still feel some type of way. Like, yes, I got what I wanted, but like, at what cost did I really get what I wanted? Were we arguing the whole time? Like,
what did it take?
Like, how much effort did it take for me to get what I wanted? So I finally got what I wanted. Now I got what I wanted. Now I'm still insecure the whole time because nothing was really resolved when we were dating. Like, nothing was really resolved. Like, so I got this. So let's say, for instance, the homie, he got Beyonce. It wouldn't happen because the only guy that could get Beyonce is me and Jay-Z. And that's not happening. So let's say the homie got Beyonce. And Beyonce's one of the baddest things on earth. He got her. He don't know how to act with her. I want her, but now I got her. Now it's like, oh, sheesh. I realize that Beyonce gonna have a million DMs. Beyonce gonna, every time we go somewhere, dude's gonna be looking at Beyonce. Like, am I ready? Am I really ready for this? Like, half the time,
can you handle
like,
it?
Yeah, right. It's a different lifestyle. So people always want something, but they don't realize, like, do I really want that? Like, like, do I really want, like, men? Half the time, and I think this goes, men, if you get a attractive woman, you have to understand that things come with that. Like, regardless, if you get woman, if you get an attractive man, you got to understand that things come with that.
And you can even be a dude that's a good-looking cat.
Right.
Regardless of that fact, if you get a woman who's A1 to everybody in the world, like, you have to keep your insecurities in check. Like, I've known cats who, who have wanted a chick so bad, and mind you, good looking dudes, but either had some insecurities here or there, or just really didn't have the confidence, and then they'd end up shooting their shot, and then it worked out. And you get to the relationship part, and they don't know, like, it's like they forget how to be normal, because now that they've done all this work and got the woman that they felt that they wanted, they then end up just not.
It's like a hoop team.
knowing
that
what to do with it.
it's like a hoop team that overseeded expectations.
Yeah.
And like we're not supposed to be here.
Not supposed to be here.
So we get here and we don't know what to do. And that goes to, and I would say, fellas, deal with your insecurities. Like, and we got to be man enough and let our ego and put our ego to the side. Deal with your insecurities before you try to go into something with someone. Because granted, insecurities not just looks. It could be like, my past 2 ex-girlfriends cheated on me and broke my heart, and now I'm scared to get into anything. So now if I get with this woman, she's attractive. That just goes, I think she's gonna cheat on me everywhere she goes. She go out with the girl, she gonna cheat on me. She don't answer her phone one time, she gonna cheat on me. And that's no way to live, because now you're living with anxiety the whole relationship, because you don't want to lose her because she's fine or whatever the case may be. But then I think she gonna cheat on me. Then I think, like all these things that I think is gonna happen, and I'm just like insecure. I'm waiting by my phone. She's not answering. I want to call her this name because I'm going crazy. Like all.
This whole conversation is opening up wounds, because I'm gonna tell you, a few years back, and mind you, if you've listened to this podcast, I've been confident my whole life.
I've
never had an issue with women. But I'm gonna tell, and I'm not gonna name names, but I was in a situation once, when I was living in SoCal, and I shot my shot at a woman who was clearly probably not in my range, clearly not in my tax bracket type situation, right? And it worked, and I got the number,
her.
and after that, I was like, I don't know, like, should I be texting her every day? Should I not be texting her every day? And then when we kicking it, it's a vibe. But when she's gone, I'm thinking in my head, like, man, what's she doing? Where's she at? Like that. I was like really losing my mind, and that's when I was like, yo, I gotta stay in I'm staying in my own lane from now on. Because if you can't handle that,
right,
just stay away from it.
And it ain't for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
It ain't for everybody. I feel like league dudes are the same way. Like dudes, half the dudes in the league are ugly anyway. So they get unknown territory. So you think because you're in a league, you can't be insecure. And like I have girls who talk to dudes in the league, and they're like, well, he was insecure. He was tripping over this, or he was tripping everywhere I went. Like, what? Don't you got other chicks? You got to understand, this is unknown territory for them.
Fix it,
like, if you are not attractive, or you haven't had women growing up, like from when you started, like you didn't get chicks until you started hooping and you became a star. That doesn't change, right? When you get to that star status, you get a different type of level of women, and you don't know how to act either.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because I've seen the millionaire get the baddie who is just as successful, and him lose his mind. Being in my situation, to me, I'm successful, but to that world, I'm not there, and I bagged the girl, and I didn't know what to do with it. It's a weird thing.
No, it really is.
I've been in that position before, because you in your mind, you're like, regular dude, and can't never pull a celebrity chick or a baddie to the level that society thinks that they are. But when you do, you're like, it's weird. It's not a regular thing. Like, you can't be like, regular dates and regular phone calls, and we just gonna lay up and kick it. Like, no, like this chick has going on that you just either got to deal with and relax on and have your mind right and try not to trip off of it.
And that's a tough thing, because then you start
compromising. You got all these crazy insecurities that you didn't even know about.
Yeah, no, real life. And then again, that's something that you either gotta work on again and be okay with whatever, or right, because then you start compromising yourself. Then I'm compromising everything that I stand for just to get this person to be with me and to stay with me, because then I don't want to lose them, or then I go crazy. And then when they answer the phone, it's really like I call them and they don't pick up. Then I think they're doing something. So then I'm tripping. I'm itching till they call me back. Yeah. And then they call me back, and it's like, but what were you doing why you didn't answer the phone? And it's just really, it's not a comfortable way to live.
It's not. I'm telling you, it's not.
It's not a comfortable way to live.
You feel like a crackhead.
It's really not.
You feel like get anxiety and you know, if you go a week, like you literally can go weeks without hearing from this person, and then they hit you up, and it's like act like nothing is like that's normal to them.
I've had
like where you been?
I'm telling you, my lady friends, attractive lady friends, have all talked to me about that, and they've been in this situation, and they don't understand because, I mean, especially if you look good and you're humble, like you don't understand, like you don't even understand why the man's acting that way, Like one of my lady friends was like he was just tripping and going crazy, and I was just like, he's just been on me, like he doesn't want me to go out to girls, he doesn't want me to do this, he doesn't want me to wear this, like, and I'm like, what do you mean? I show you attention, I'm with you all the time, like why don't you want me to? And I was like, you gotta understand that you're the prize, fellas. We're the prize too, but I tell her, you gotta understand, like he's not used to a woman of your stature. And that is intimidating to people, not just looks. Yeah. Let's say that I have a nice career job. Let's say that I'm close with my family. I know what I want. I'm confident in me as and who I am as a person. Yeah. And I walk with confidence. Like my attitude carries like weight with it when I go places, you know. He's not used to that being on his arm. He's not used to being with that, especially if he's not at that level as well. Yeah. So you can't expect him to just be like, oh, this is cool. I'm not used to this.
Yeah. It ain't just about the looks aspect. I'm telling you. Yeah. Like you could be a broke, attractive person and come across a successful, attractive person, and that successful person could probably and not even know that you don't have shit and be the insecure one.
Right. Real life.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally a matter of like we could label this topic "Stay in Your Lane" because literally like
real life.
It's not for everyone to either be with or date someone who's either super attractive, super successful, or super known. It's just not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you not there yourself but want to be. Like, you know, again, my situation, I wasn't where, and I'm still not where I want to be success-wise. And that was the first time me ever dealing with someone who not only was super attractive but super successful, and I'm sort of just I'm just finding my way. Like,
but that was older, the old you.
Yeah,
you know.
But this was almost 10 years ago.
Right. So you found you're like now. Of course, it might be different.
Yeah, it's different now
because you've worked on yourself. That's what I'm saying. Work on yourself, ladies and gentlemen, so that whatever comes, you're ready for it. Like, granted, again, me and Beyonce, we have our differences. Like, whatever the case, she goes her way, I go my separate way. We're both happy. But let's say that if we, like, back in the day when, you know, there was something involved with me and her, that if something were to happen, I'll be cool. Like, I would be cool because I know me. Like, I'm confident in me. And it's crazy because I never think, like, oh, like, chicks want me, blah, 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 blah type thing. But especially, like, if I feel like you're attractive or good looking. But I've, you know, dated women in the past and they've like stopped talking to me, and you know, it's kind of like, yes, it's their loss, but I'm like, why? Like, I'm confident, so I'm like, why would you stop talking to me? Like, if we're vibing, blah blah blah. And luckily that I'm cool with people, and I mean, I feel like I help people be open to talk to me. So like, a lot of them have told me, hey, I was intimidated by you. Like, I was like, literally, I was intimidated. I was insecure because, like, you know, it didn't seem like you had any flaws. It didn't seem like you were insecure or, you know, you were broken or, you know, like, you knew what you wanted. Yeah. You knew what you wanted. Like, you knew, like, hey, if I don't communicate with you, then that's that. Yes. Like, I always let people know that. You know, I'm big on communication. So I don't care how bad you are. Like, I'm going to let you know. And they're attractive women. So it's new to them because they're like, I'm attractive. Like, what does he mean? Like, if I don't answer his phone call or his text, he's not gonna talk to me no more. Yeah, but I got all these dudes. But I got all these dudes in my DMs, all these dudes in my phone that's gonna want me even if I don't talk to him for a week. Oh no, that's scary. Like, oh no, I'm cool. I'm going the other way.
Norm,
yeah, I'm going the other way. Yeah. Like, and again, confidence is tough for some people. It makes them insecure, ladies and gentlemen. But I would just say, before you get before you get whatever you keep
Think you
asking
want.
for, make sure that you're ready for that, and make sure you work on yourself and you're comfortable with yourself. You've dealt with your insecurities with your family, with your dad, mom, sister, brother, with your body insecurity, whatever your insecurities are, with your past relationship, whatever it is. Deal with that first before you keep talking about I want this, that, and that and the other, but I'm not ready for it, and you're not really ready for it. Like, you want it, but you're not really ready for it.
Otherwise, just stay in your lane.
Or you're gonna get what you've been asking for, and it ain't gonna turn out to be everything you thought it was gonna be.
Real. Man, that's hot. That's heavy, man. Bringing back all type of memories. But yo, I want to finish this because this episode on something. I don't think we're gonna get too serious, too heavy with it. But I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I mainly saw it because I watched Dave Chappelle's most recent specials, right? And he went in on something that's become an annoyance in society, and it happens to be the cancel culture, where and it goes all the way. It goes so further than that, where when Kevin Hart was gonna host the Oscars, trolls on the internet found old tweets of his that turned out to be somewhat homophobic, and the LGBTQ community came after him and picket the fucking Oscars. Oh, he shouldn't do it. He shouldn't do it. Shouldn't be the host of the Oscars because of this he said 10 years ago, and the Oscars kind of forced him out because he wasn't going to apologize for it again. I really hate Dave Chappelle's thing kind of reiterated what's going on with today's society, where people, these fucking internet trolls, these people who just never seem to be happy about anything, want to find a reason to hurt others based on their past. And what annoys me about it is, I guarantee you, most of these people have a past that, if brought to light today, I wonder what we find in your closet. You know what I'm saying? So
I hate how we put these celebrities and superstars on a pedestal, and we think that they're any different, right? Like every single person in the world has made a mistake or said something that they shouldn't have said. And if you were under a microscope, or if someone looked back and went at your old tweets, or if there was a camera on you 24/7 and recorded what you said 10 years ago till now, thinking that you're still that same person regardless of what it is, you would think it's stupid, right? Like, you think it's idiotic. Like, you're saying because I felt this way 10 years ago, or I didn't even have I could be so ignorant on, let's say, Black Lives Matter. I could be so ignorant on Black Lives Matter that I say something 10 years ago, Black Lives Matter. Like, Black Lives Matter doesn't really matter. Like, all lives really matter, blah, blah. But I don't know anything what Black Lives Matter stands for. I don't know anything about what happened with racism back in the day. Officers, I'm not really educated on, officers killing black men for no reason.
Or the
statistics, the system, the juvenile or the justice system. I'm not educated on any of that. I'm just like, oh, well, looking at it from like, why doesn't my life matter? I'm white. Like, if I'm not educated on that at all, and I say something, but then I know that I'm wrong, and I educate myself 10 years from now, whatever. I have a whole new mindset. You telling me you gonna punish me for that I said 10 years ago, and think that I'm a racist, or think that I like what? That just doesn't make no sense.
Or like let that happen, and then between that time to now, you become a person in the spotlight,
right?
And the killing of unarmed black men just keeps going through the roof, and then you happen to say something, and some fucking nobody retweets tweets from 10 years.
Right.
Wait, but you were saying all lives matter 10 years ago, so do you not care about your own black people? Like, that's the type of shit we're talking about. Like, that's how this comes from.
Cancel him. Don't buy his shows.
Don't go to his shows.
Don't go to his things. Blah blah.
And then you
what about what you said to your mom yesterday?
Right.
None of us know about.
And the cold part is what keeps happening to these celebs. And mind you, this is how these people make their living. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a regular 9 to 5 job, but this is how they make their money. And it's where something like this will happen. Twitter will be up, social media be up in an uproar, and then a day later, NBC cancels so and so show because of old tweets that have come out. Like, what? Like, that's where we've come to.
His money, or he has to make an apology. He has to make a statement. And
like,
even after he makes a statement, whoever makes a statement, it ain't gonna do nothing because you're gonna feel the same exact way regardless. Like,
dude, you want to know the big? If people today, and mind you, I'm gonna just speak on just the LGBTQ community. If that community alone were to go back and watch Eddie Murphy Raw. Oh my God! The amount of times he uses the word in that special, how derogatory his jokes are to get, y'all would lose your minds. But that was funny as hell, and there was no
point intended. Basically,
not even there was no picketing, there was no rioting. Like there were gays in the 80s. There were gay clubs in the 80s. Eddie had gay friends, I'm pretty sure, back then. There was no picketing for nobody should support Eddie Murphy Raw. Eddie Murphy's career took off after, well, he was already a star, but after Raw, like, where some of his best movies came after that. So, like, if you were to take Eddie Murphy Raw and drop it as a new piece of content today,
they would probably take it off Netflix.
They would try to go. They would go try to kill Eddie Murphy.
I think we internalize everything as a generation, and we're just very sensitive about
crazy.
Every single thing. Like, nothing can be said because everybody takes it in a derogatory way. Like, oh, they're out. Like, it's honestly crazy.
It's insane.
Like, because if you go back and look at my old, if I ever make it, and I'm like, I feel like I've already made it anyways, but if I ever become in the spotlight, let me say that, if me and Danny ever become in the spotlight and y'all look at our old tweets, don't even ask me to apologize because I'm not, and I'm sure Danny's not either. He say F y'all anyways, but don't ask me to apologize because I'm not going to apologize on anything that I say.
If you go to my Twitter,
either you rock with me or you don't.
If you go to my Twitter from 2006, 2007, you better put your seatbelt on, because you gonna go for a ride. Like, I've never been the type to hold back. And mind you, I'm not one of these people like, oh, I just do it for social media. It's just all for jokes and for fun. Like, no, I actually enjoy social media, and I like to live my life through social media. And I like people to see the transparency that what you see on social media is what you're gonna see in real life. So the tweets I've tweeted, posts on Facebook and my Instagram, I'm the same.
You're gonna get
there
that
and
Danny
here.
for real. He's not one of those people.
So if you go to my, I'm not deleting because guarantee you, like, I've worked in this industry for a long time, and we're not at the level we want to be at. I guarantee you, we're gonna be there at some point very soon. I don't give a who goes to see my tweets. And mind you, I'm not saying I was bashing or saying a whole bunch of offensive shit. Well, I might have said some offensive stuff, but I've never done anything to maliciously hurt anyone or said anything to make it malicious in any way. I've been a jokester, a funny guy my whole life, so I've made comments that might seem derogatory to some people, but people that know me. No, like, I have gay family members. I have gay friends. I have people with special needs in my family. I have people that aren't all there mentally in my family.
Right.
I've made jokes about everything. So I dare you people to come after me if you want.
And we gotta stop judging people and feeling some type of way about people for how they. If there's no hatred involved,
don't
everybody,
take it out of context.
Everybody can feel or do whatever they want to with their family, or what they want to do with their life or their family. Let's say that I'm gonna put my son in every sport because I want him to be a star. Let's just say that. everybody doesn't agree with that. What if your son doesn't like sports and you're forcing him to play sports? That is my son. Granted, we might not agree. Granted, we might have something to say about it, but we got to understand that is his son. That's not
that man's choice.
Right. That's not yours. Even if we don't like it, okay, cool. I'm not going to raise my kids that way. Because I've been around a lot of people where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not really going to do that. I'm not going to do that with my kid. My parents have raised me, and I've noted things that they've done a great job with me, but I've noticed things like, oh, I might do that a little different. Nothing against my parents, but I might do that a little different when I have my kid because I learned from them. And I've seen it like, oh no, I don't really want to do that. Or, I'm at a friend's house and at home and they let their kid run wild and slap people in the stores. Or let's just say something like that. And be like, I'm not going to raise my kid like that. I'm going to ring him up and, but again, that is their kid. Yeah. So that's a smaller surface than us seeing someone on, in the spotlight and they're doing but it's the same thing.
Yeah. And not because, you're not going to not be friends with that because that's how they do.
Exactly. But we see somebody like a Kevin Hart or, somebody like that. And because they're in a bigger spectrum and they're raising their kids or doing whatever they want to their way, we are like, oh no, I'm not doing this. I don't support him anymore. You're a celebrity and you said these things or you do things that way, you're supposed to be a role model. But if my friend said,
but if your friend is the exact same way, you're cool with it.
You're cool with my friend because they're not that person.
That's insanity.
That is literally, I just don't understand. It's literally the same thing, but you're judging people two different ways.
But because that person's successful and you feel like they should be held to this higher standard, it's time to cancel that motherfucker.
Understand, people are people.
Seriously.
They bleed the same way as you. These aren't cyborgs. These aren't
not robots.
Transformers. They didn't come from somewhere else we came for. They had a mom who they were born out of. Yeah, same way as us.
Now, the difference is the people that do these things maliciously.
Right. There's a difference.
I'm totally
fine for sure.
Saying, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, there was a comedian, or I guess he was a comedian, but he was
talking about Kobe.
The guy.
That was on Joe Rogan's show. Yeah, I don't F with. Yeah,
that type of
That's
stuff.
Totally,
I don't even. Yeah. I think his name's Ari something or another.
I don't even know.
But after Kobe died, this guy made a video.
Yeah, talking. Yeah,
joking about it, and afterwards made a statement like, "Oh, I was just people."
He only made the statement because people crucified him.
No, that type of no. But we're talking about if before this rising up of the LGBTQ community, and people that because there was a culture back in the day,
right?
Talking about gays and using them as butts of jokes, or saying, "Oh, that's gay," or using the word and stuff like that. It's not cool, but it was a part of culture. But it was. So people have been trying to rectify that, but going about it in a way where you think that this person should be damned because they used the term or used gay in a somewhat derogatory, negative way.
I feel
back then when that's still somewhat new. There's the crazy part is I don't know when. I need to do more research on it. I'm not going to say anything that I'm super positive on, but I know as far as gay being a normal thing, I'm not certain that it's been super long where it's just been an open thing where compared to racism or
it's definitely not.
You know what I mean? To where it's
you can't even compare that.
What I'm saying is it's still fairly new in the society where people are still learning how to be less ignorant when it comes to how you speak on or speak to or speak about the homosexual community.
That's definitely true. The key word is people are still learning. So stop crucifying people when they're learning, especially if they grew up away or where it wasn't as sensitive. That's the only thing that I have.
That's what I mean.
That's the only issue that I have with it.
Making jokes about gays when I was a
the
kid.
F word. I feel like the F word to me has always been derogatory, like that you just said. So I don't use that.
Means the word.
Yes, I don't really use that word. Because I feel like that even when I was younger, me and my boys used to get mad at each other for saying that. But being like the word gay, like that was used not right, but as I heard it from adults when I was younger, like
Same.
don't be gay, like oh that's gay, and it wasn't to be like oh you're something so wrong with you. It was literally used like I mean I'm just not even educated on everything, or I don't even understand
oh stop
right
being stupid.
right now.
But
granted, it's more there's more knowledge on being gay and what gay people have went through, and
we get it.
they've committed suicide. There's been more people who have disowned their children, things of that nature. So it's more of a touchy things now. You cannot use it in the same way.
Yes.
And we understand that, and people understand that, but you cannot crucify someone who's still learning, that's
the key point.
who has said, let's just say, and again, I'm not defending nobody. I hope my gay friends and lesbian friends know I'm not defending anybody. But you cannot crucify someone who has used stop being gay since they were 10 to 25, 15 years of their lives. So they've used that word in context more than they haven't in their whole entire life, and then all of a sudden you want them to just snap and stop saying it.
Especially if that's the only context we've known it in. Like we know there was homosexuals when we were growing up, but if the only context we knew was to use gay in that way, we are sorry.
Right. And it's being worked on. Like it's worked. Now if they're just like F you, you're gay, I hate you, blah blah. Okay, that's coming from a hateful place.
Especially if you know and you understand what you're saying.
Like that's coming from a hateful place. But you cannot crucify someone every time something is being said. Like you never, even as a lesbian or as a gay person, have never said anything wrong about, let's say, even another race or another person. Like you're just perfect. And that's what I hate. People think that they're perfect because everybody doesn't know what they say or what they do. So they want to, look at everybody else and judge their life. And granted, this is not just about gay or lesbian people. This is about
just
everything.
Differences
this is about
general.
Every single thing.
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking about that right now, but this is just like I said. If I raise my child a certain way and that person doesn't raise them the right way, if this person whoops their kid and this person doesn't, like there's so many differences in how people raise and how people were raised and where they come from that we got to understand that people still learning. And as long as they're not being ignorant to the fact that things have changed in this society now from 20 years ago, and they're still like for instance, old racist white people. Mm-hmm. They were racist back then. They're racist now because they're ignorant to the fact that they think things are still the same as it was in the 1950s or whatever the case may be, and they don't even want to be open to any type of change. That's the difference.
But the ones who have are the ones who get it,
right?
Because the ones that grew up in that, but then they're open to learning. This is what we're talking about. The people that have done this, who are open to learning. It's a tie into racism a little bit because a white kid that grew up with racist parents, I'm not going to fault him for when he was a kid calling other kids nigger, but when he grows up, understands what he was doing,
right?
That it was wrong, and has changed from that. I'm not going to, and that's what I mean. Like if 10 years ago that person was on Twitter calling somebody a nigger, but then 10 years later are educated on it,
right?
I'm not going to fault them for that.
He's still going to get punched 10 years ago. From 10 years ago, he probably still would have got fired on.
But when you educate yourself and become less ignorant to that stuff,
like you get basically like, okay, I'm not my parents anymore. I have a mind for myself. Like, yes, I'm a little kid. My parents are teaching me every day to hate. Yes, you hate. Yes, you might get socked on the playground, fired on because I'm telling my kid to punch you. At let's say 5 years from now, I'm 5 years old, or let's say I'm 7 and I'm spewing this hate, and then I become 10 or 11, and I'm starting to think for myself more. I'm starting to make friends who are of different colors, and I'm like, oh, what is it? Like, oh, they're cool. Like, oh, this is my best friend. Like I'm not. That's I'm not gonna.
I'm not
be
going
like
to judge you for
what you said when you were a kid. Like, there's just levels and everything goes into context, but I hope we kind of made you guys see. And again, this is not defending people of hate, okay? For my lesbians and gays, this is not defending people of hate. For my parents who raise their kid, this is not, I would never defend somebody who hates.
We are simply talking about the ones who have learned from their mistakes, have educated themselves on it, and have progressed away from where they used to be. But yet, you guys can't be the ones still holding on to that old.
For real.
If everyone's going to be progressing in the right direction, then you have to be able to be part of that progress.
And understand that everybody is still a work in progress, yourself included.
Yes.
Okay, we're all still work in progress.
At the end of the day, cancel culture is bull. Like, everyone's still learning. You know the difference between ignorance and real
Factuals.
hate.
Yeah, like hate.
Either give someone the benefit of the doubt to learn about what they were doing and see the change in them. But if there's no change, then obviously you can picket and riot all you want to. But give people the benefit of the doubt first. Try to assume that there's good to come out of it.
Factuals.
That's all we're saying. Cancel culture is trash. It needs to stop. People got their way they live and how they provide for their families. Stop trying to take that away from them because of what they did 10 years ago, and learn to either have conversations, allow them to see the difference, or explain, talk to them, tell them, listen, what you said 10 years ago was bullshit.
Real life.
I'm trying to figure out if you still feel that way. If they show you they still feel that way, I bet. You. I'm never supporting you again.
Right.
I'm never giving you no more money.
That's it.
But if they're like, listen, I understand, I'm sorry, I'm willing to learn, blah, blah, all that, that's it. Leave it there.
Man.
Period.
Man.
So, cancel culture. You vultures and trolls on social media, if you're really about change and really about, making things better, show it. Stop trying to go for people's money. Stop trying to go for people's career. Say it again.
Be the change that you want to see, or be the change that you want to be.
And that's it.
One of the two.
We out on that. This is Thank You Later Podcast, episode 13, man. We love y'all.
Hey, love y'all. We out of here.
Thank me later, yeah, I know what I said. But later doesn't always come, so instead.